15 mind-blowing facts about Vanuatu and eccentric things you won't believe exist.
Did you know that there is a place on Earth where you can live like royalty for under $500 a month? A place so stunning that it feels like stepping into a postcard, beautiful beaches, clear blue waters, and rich green forests. But that's not all. This tiny island nation, known as Vanuatu, is home to some of the most fascinating and downright bizarre traditions you'll ever hear of. From active volcanoes that erupt almost daily, to tribes still practicing centuries-old rituals that will shock you, Vanuatu is a place full of surprises. Here's where it gets even crazier. Imagine leaping off a 30-meter high tower, tied only by a vine around your ankles, in a dangerous but sacred ritual that dates back centuries. Or picture walking down a street where locals believe an American figure, named John from, is going to return to them someday with riches and cargo, just like during World War II. But these aren't just strange stories, they're the heartbeat of Vanuatu's unique culture, alive and thriving today. In this documentary, we'll dive deep into the wonders of Vanuatu, uncovering how this place is unlike any other. You'll hear stories of resilience, wild adventures, and an incredible way of life that remains untouched by the modern world. Get ready to learn the shocking secrets that make Vanuatu one of the most extraordinary places on the planet. Stick around, these 15 facts will change everything you thought you knew about paradise. Vanuatu is one of those places you've probably never heard of, but it's time to change that. This small group of islands, tucked away in the South Pacific, is a hidden gem that offers more than just paradise-level beaches. While it might not have the same fame as Bali, the Maldives, or Fiji, Vanuatu holds its own in ways that might surprise you. It's a place where life moves at a slower pace, where nature and culture coexist in ways that are difficult to find anywhere else. In the modern world, one of the first things you'll notice about Vanuatu is its breathtaking beauty. Picture crystal clear turquoise waters, white sandy beaches, and lush green forests that stretch for miles. Unlike places that have been heavily commercialized to cater to tourists, Vanuatu's beauty feels authentic and untouched. The islands are a haven for anyone seeking peace, away from the noise and rush of daily life. The locals live in harmony with the land, making the most of the natural resources around them, from fresh seafood to vibrant fruits that grow naturally on the islands. It's the kind of place where you can wake up, step outside, and be surrounded by the kind of natural beauty that others only see in postcards. What makes Vanuatu stand out even more is the lifestyle. In a world where everything is about fast-paced living and constant change, Vanuatu represents something much simpler. Here, people still follow ancient traditions, living in ways that are connected to the earth and their ancestors. For instance, the famous land diving ceremony is not just a tourist attraction, it is a rite of passage that has been practiced for centuries, a reminder of the island's deep connection to its past. Travelers who visit Vanuatu often describe it as a place where time slows down, where you can reconnect with nature and experience a culture that is as old as the land itself. Many have found that it is not just the views or the warm climate that make Vanuatu special, but the way it makes you feel. Visitors often talk about how it feels like stepping back in time to a more peaceful, fulfilling way of life. And the best part? It's all affordable. While the cost of living on Vanuatu is incredibly low compared to other places around the world, it doesn't come with the sacrifices of culture or community that many might expect. In Vanuatu, the islands are not just a destination, they are a living testament to a way of life that has remained intact for centuries. It's a place that invites you to relax, to be present, and to find meaning in the simpler things. So, if you're someone looking for a different kind of adventure, one that combines natural beauty, ancient traditions, and a lifestyle that feels both slower and richer, then Vanuatu should be on your list. Vanuatu might be a small country in terms of land area, but its geography is nothing short of spectacular. The country consists of 83 islands, scattered across the South Pacific Ocean. These islands stretch over 1,300 kilometers, each offering its own unique landscapes, cultures, and stories. This geographical spread gives Vanuatu its distinct beauty. Each island is different, yet all share a similar natural charm that makes the country so fascinating. The islands of Vanuatu are divided into two main groups, the northern and southern islands. The terrain varies widely, with some islands being volcanic, while others are coral-based. The volcanic islands are part of the Pacific Ring of Fire, a region known for its intense volcanic activity. These islands are often rugged and dramatic, with steep hills, lush jungles, and towering volcanoes that still erupt periodically. These eruptions make Vanuatu a very dynamic place, constantly changing the landscape. The volcanic islands, like Tanna, are home to Mount Yasur, one of the world's most active volcanoes. Mount Yasur is a must-see for many visitors to Vanuatu. It's not just a geographical feature. It's deeply rooted in the islanders' culture and beliefs. The locals regard the volcano as a living spirit, and they have strong spiritual connections to the land surrounding it. Eruptions are not viewed with fear, but with reverence. To the people of Tanna, the eruptions signify the presence of their ancestors. The power of the volcano is a symbol of strength and resilience, and the people's relationship with the volcano is an important part of their identity. On the other hand, Vanuatu's coral islands are surrounded by some of the world's most pristine coral reefs. These islands are flatter, with sandy beaches and vibrant, clear blue waters that make them a paradise for divers and snorkelers. These coral reefs are home to an incredible range of marine life, from tiny fish to large manta rays and sea turtles. The coral islands tend to be smaller and more laid back compared to the volcanic islands, offering a peaceful escape where visitors can enjoy nature's beauty in its most tranquil form. The terrain of each island plays a significant role in shaping the environment and the way of life of the people living there. Volcanic islands tend to have fertile soil, which is great for farming. Crops like yams, bananas, and taro thrive in the nutrient-rich soil, providing sustenance for local communities. However, these islands also face challenges, such as frequent volcanic eruptions and the threat of earthquakes. Coral islands, on the other hand, face the ongoing threat of rising sea levels due to climate change. These islands are at risk of being submerged in the future, which poses a serious threat to their inhabitants. Developing deep knowledge of their environment and how to live in harmony with it. The islands enjoy a tropical climate characterized by warm temperatures year-round. However, because of their proximity to the equator, the weather can be unpredictable at times, with cyclones and storms affecting the islands during the rainy season. Cyclones tend to hit the islands between November and April, but the locals are well prepared for these events, having experienced them for centuries. While the threat of the cyclone may seem intimidating, the people of Vanuatu have developed strong systems for disaster management, ensuring the safety of their communities. What makes Vanuatu's weather even more interesting is its connection to its volcanic landscape. Volcanic activity can affect local weather patterns by changing wind directions, creating unique microclimates in certain areas. For instance, the northern islands are typically wetter, with lush rainforests and dense vegetation, while the southern islands, being closer to Mount Yasur, are drier and dustier during periods of volcanic activity. This variance in climate contributes to the incredible diversity of plant and animal life on the islands, creating a rich environment for different species to thrive. When comparing Vanuatu to other well-known tropical destinations like Hawaii or Fiji, some similarities are obvious. Like those places, Vanuatu offers warm weather, stunning beaches, and a laid-back lifestyle. However, what sets Vanuatu apart is the sheer diversity of its geography. While Hawaii and Fiji have volcanic origins, Vanuatu's landscape is more complex, with its mixture of volcanic islands and coral-based ones. Additionally, Hawaii and Fiji have well-established tourism industries, but Vanuatu remains much more untouched and unspoiled. The islands here are not as developed as other popular tourist destinations, which gives Vanuatu a more authentic, untouched feel. Visitors can enjoy the beauty of these islands without the crowds and commercialized experiences. that often accompany well-known destinations. The fact that Vanuatu remains relatively isolated also contributes to its unique geography. While the country has started to develop its tourism industry, it hasn't yet experienced the mass tourism that other islands like Bali or the Maldives have faced. This isolation has allowed the natural beauty and cultures of Vanuatu to remain preserved. You won't find big resorts or overcrowded beaches here. Instead, Vanuatu offers quiet retreats where the environment, culture, and history take center stage. Vanuatu's geography is a testament to the island nation's resilience and beauty. Whether you are exploring the active volcanoes, lounging on pristine beaches, or hiking through dense rainforests, Vanuatu's varied landscapes offer something for everyone. Each island, with its unique terrain and culture, tells a different story, adding layers of depth and mystery to this hidden paradise. The volcanic mountains, the rich forests, and the coral reefs are not just geographical features, they are the backbone of Vanuatu's identity. Together, they create an environment that is as fascinating as it is beautiful, making Vanuatu one of the most geographically diverse and intriguing places on Earth. Vanuatu's affordable lifestyle when it comes to living on a budget. Vanuatu is an absolute gem for many people around the world. The idea of moving to a tropical island might seem like an expensive dream, but Vanuatu offers a lifestyle that is surprisingly affordable, with a cost of living that is much lower than in major cities across the world. It's a place where you can live comfortably without breaking the bank. Let's put it into perspective. The average cost of renting an apartment in a city like New York can easily go up to $3.00 or more per month. That's just for a small one-bedroom apartment in a not-so-central area. In Vanuatu, however, you can find a decent home for as little as $150 to $200 a month in some areas. Even in the capital, Port Vila, a spacious apartment with a stunning view might cost you under $600. When you compare that to cities like London, Sydney, or New York, it's easy to see why so many people are choosing Vanuatu as their home. The affordable rent isn't the only thing that makes Vanuatu an attractive place to live. Basic necessities like food and transportation are also much cheaper than in many Western countries. For example, a loaf of bread in New York might cost around $3, but in Vanuatu, you can pick it up for just over $1. Fresh produce, such as bananas, pineapples, and coconuts, are abundant and cost next to nothing. Seafood is incredibly cheap, too fresh. Fish can be bought directly from the local markets or fishermen for only a few dollars per kilogram. Locals and expats alike often mention how much they appreciate the affordability of Vanuatu. Take Mark, an expat from Australia, who moved to Vanuatu 2 years ago. He says, "When I was living in Sydney, I was always stressed about paying bills, rent, and groceries. But here, I can live the same kind of life for a fraction of the cost. My rent is so low, I have more money to spend on things I love, whether it is traveling around the islands or simply relaxing on the beach." Beyond the lower costs, the lifestyle in Vanuatu is much slower paced, which contributes to an overall higher quality of life. The fast pace of city life in Western countries often comes with a high price, long hours, stress, and a lack of time for relaxation. In Vanuatu, people live with a sense of ease and simplicity. The locals don't rush from one task to the next, and the concept of time is more flexible. People here often enjoy long chats with neighbors, spend their afternoons at the beach, or visit local markets where they can buy fresh fruits and vegetables directly from the farmers. Life is about enjoying the present moment rather than constantly worrying about the future. The affordability of life in Vanuatu also has an impact on what people do for work. Many locals rely on agriculture, fishing, and tourism as their main sources of income. The islanders grow their own food, such as taro, yams, and sweet potatoes, and the rich volcanic soil provides the perfect environment for farming. Fishing is another major industry, and locals sell their catches at markets or directly to restaurants. Since Vanuatu doesn't have a large industrial sector, most jobs are related to tourism, agriculture, or local crafts. For expats, The low cost of living in Vanuatu often means they can either retire early or start businesses that they couldn't afford to set up in a more expensive country. Many expats run small guest houses, diving schools, or ecotourism businesses, providing services to visitors who come to explore the island's beauty. Local businesses are generally smaller and more personal, which makes for a much more intimate and satisfying work environment. Many of the expats I've spoken to say they feel more fulfilled in their work in Vanuatu, partly because they are able to live a balanced lifestyle without constantly being caught up in the pressures of a high-cost society. Take Jane, a retiree from New Zealand, who moved to Vanuatu 3 years ago. In New Zealand, I was living paycheck to paycheck. Here, I can comfortably live on my savings, which go much further. I spend my days gardening, going to the beach, and spending time with friends. I'm so much happier here. It's a simpler, more peaceful life. One of the best things about Vanuatu's affordability is how it allows people to live stress-free, with fewer financial burdens. The people here are often able to focus more on their well-being and relationships. The affordability directly impacts happiness. With less time spent working long hours to make ends meet, people can spend more time with family, pursue hobbies, and truly enjoy their surroundings. Locals often take part in cultural practices, go on long walks in nature, or gather for social events in the evenings. The relaxed pace of life here is something that many visitors and residents find refreshing. Not only is the cost of living low, but the Vanuatu government also provides an attractive tax system that makes it easier for expats and businesses to thrive. There is no income tax, which means that whatever you earn stays in your pocket. This is a major draw for people who want to retire or start a new life abroad, in a country where the cost of living is already low. This tax advantage can make a huge difference in how far your money stretches. Vanuatu's affordable lifestyle has even attracted digital nomads and remote workers from all over the world. With the rise of online work, many people now have the ability to work from anywhere. Vanuatu, with its beautiful landscapes, strong internet connectivity in major areas, and incredibly low living costs, is becoming a popular destination for remote workers looking for a peaceful, yet affordable place to live. It's not uncommon to meet expats who run online businesses, work in tech, or even teach English while enjoying the island life. The low cost of living allows them to balance work with an easygoing lifestyle, something that is often hard to come by in high-cost countries. One local villager, Maria, shares how her life has improved since moving to the capital city, Port Vila. I used to live in a village where everything was basic: no electricity, no water. I now live in Port Vila, and the best part is that I can afford to send my kids to school and buy them new clothes. The cost of living here is low, so I don't have to worry so much about daily expenses. The low cost of living in Vanuatu is one of the country's best-kept secrets, and it's one of the main reasons people are choosing to make this island their home. Whether it's the affordable housing, fresh food, or the ability to work less and live more, Vanuatu offers an opportunity for a more relaxed, fulfilling life. It is a place where you can live in paradise without the price tag that usually comes with it. Unique cultural practices. Vanuatu's culture is one of the most unique and fascinating aspects of the islands, with traditions that have been passed down for generations. While much of the world has rapidly modernized, the people of Vanuatu have managed to keep their cultural practices alive and thriving. These rituals and customs, deeply rooted in the island's history, hold great meaning and significance for the local communities. From the famous land diving ceremony to spiritual dances, Vanuatu's cultural practices offer a glimpse into a way of life that is slowly disappearing from many parts of the world. One of the most iconic and thrilling cultural practices in Vanuatu is land diving, a ritual that is deeply tied to masculinity and the belief systems of the local people. This ceremony, practiced on Pentecost Island, involves young men jumping off wooden towers with vines tied around their ankles. The jump can be as high as 30 meters, and it is done in the hope of ensuring a good harvest and fertility for the community. The higher the jump, the greater the prestige a man gains within his village. This practice is seen as a rite of passage for young men, marking their transition into adulthood. It is also a test of bravery and strength, qualities that are highly valued in Vanuatu's culture. The land diving ceremony has been practiced for centuries, long before Western influence arrived in the islands. In fact, it is believed to have inspired the modern bungee jump, although it holds a far deeper cultural and spiritual meaning. For the people of Pentecost Island, land diving is much more than an adrenaline rush. It is a sacred ritual that connects them to their ancestors and the spirit world. Anthropologists and historians who have studied the ceremony often highlight its importance. As a symbol of manhood and respect for the earth, the ceremony's continued practice, despite the pressure of modernization, shows the resilience of Vanuatu's traditions. Beyond land diving, Vanuatu is also home to a rich tradition of spiritual dances and ceremonies that are deeply tied to the islanders' connection with nature and the spiritual world. Many of these dances are performed to honor the ancestors and gods, seeking their blessings for good health, prosperity, and success. These rituals are often held during significant events like harvests, weddings, or births, and they are seen as a way to maintain harmony between the physical and spiritual realms. The dances themselves are elaborate and powerful, often involving intricate body paint, masks, and costumes. The movements are symbolic, with each gesture telling a story of the islanders' past, their relationship with the land, and their connection to the divine. For example, one popular dance in Vanuatu is the kava dance, performed during ceremonies where the ceremonial drink, kava, is shared among the community. Kava is made from the root of a local plant and is believed to have relaxing and spiritual properties. The dance that accompanies the sharing of this drink is done to honor the ancestors and to welcome the blessings of the spirits. The spiritual significance of these dances and ceremonies is not just for entertainment or performance. They are a vital part of the islanders' identity. By participating in these rituals, people reaffirm their connection to their history, their culture, and the land. It is through these ceremonies that the community strengthens its bonds and passes down its beliefs and values to the next generation. In addition to spiritual dances, the people of Vanuatu also have unique practices related to healing and medicinal plants. The islanders have long relied on the plants and herbs found in their natural surroundings to treat various illnesses and ailments. Traditional healers, often called Nambas, possess an intimate knowledge of local plants and their healing properties. These healers pass down their knowledge through generations, ensuring that this ancient practice continues to thrive. For instance, frangipani flowers are used to treat headaches and skin irritations, while kava is also used in a medicinal capacity to ease anxiety and promote relaxation. Other plants are used for their antibacterial properties, helping to fight infections or reduce inflammation. The use of plants for healing in Vanuatu is a prime example of the islanders' deep connection to their environment. They are able to live off the land in ways that many modern societies have long forgotten. These healing practices are not only about physical health, they also involve a spiritual component. In many cases, the healers use ritualistic practices, such as chanting and prayer, alongside the medicinal plants to ensure the patient's well-being. These practices reflect the holistic worldview of the islanders, where health is seen as a balance between the body, mind, and spirit. Vanuatu's community-driven approach to life is another hallmark of its unique culture. In many parts of the islands, people live in small villages where everyone knows each other. The sense of community is incredibly strong, with people working together to achieve common goals. For instance, during harvest season, everyone in the village comes together to help gather food. The sense of mutual aid and support is something that is deeply ingrained in the culture of Vanuatu. In times of celebration or crisis, the community comes together to share in the experience, strengthening the bonds between neighbors and families. One fascinating example of this community spirit is the practice of nakamal, a gathering place where men come together to share stories, drink kava, and discuss important matters. The nakamal is not just a place for socializing, it is a place of decision-making and problem-solving. It represents the heart of the village's social life, where men are given the space to voice their opinions and make decisions that will affect the entire community. This sense of collective decision-making is central to the way the people of Vanuatu approach leadership and governance. Despite the pressure from globalization, the people of Vanuatu have managed to hold onto these traditional practices even as the world around them changes. Many anthropologists and cultural experts who have studied the island's practices note how important it is for the people of Vanuatu to maintain their cultural identity. In a rapidly modernizing world, the ability to preserve these rituals, despite the influence of tourism, Western culture, and modern technology, speaks to the strength of the islanders' connection to their heritage. One such expert, Dr. Naomi Peterson, an anthropologist who has spent years researching Pacific Island cultures, says, "What is truly remarkable about Vanuatu is the way the people have been able to maintain their deep connection to tradition while also adapting to the modern world. The land diving ceremony, the use of medicinal plants, and the community-oriented way of life are all living traditions. These practices offer valuable insight into how we might balance cultural preservation with modernity in a world that is increasingly focused on individualism and technology. Vanuatu stands as a reminder of the power of community, tradition, and spirituality. The people of Vanuatu understand that their rituals are not just remnants of the past. They are living practices that help them maintain a sense of identity and connection to the earth. The land diving ceremony, the spiritual dances, the healing plants, and the tight-knit communities all play a role in creating a society that values connection, respect, and harmony with nature. As Vanuatu continues to navigate the challenges of a modern world, these cultural practices will undoubtedly remain at the heart of the islanders' way of life, offering not just a glimpse into their past, but a guide for living in balance with the earth and each other. The bizarre cargo cults of Vanuatu. One of the most fascinating and strange aspects of Vanuatu's culture is the presence of cargo cults. These belief systems, which emerged during and after World War II, are rooted in the arrival of foreign military supplies and goods, items the islanders had never seen before. The term cargo cult refers to the idea that the arrival of Western goods and technology was divinely inspired, and that by following certain rituals, the islanders could summon these goods back to their shores. While this phenomenon may sound unbelievable to some, it is a key part of Vanuatu's cultural history and continues to impact its people today. The origin of cargo cults in Vanuatu traces back to the 1940s during World War II. When the war reached the Pacific Islands, Allied forces set up military bases on several islands, including Vanuatu, as soldiers arrived with large quantities of supplies such as food, clothing, and equipment. The local population was astonished. The islanders had never seen such goods before, and they believed that these items were sent by gods or ancestral spirits. The sight of cargo planes flying overhead, dropping supplies, was seen as a divine blessing. The indigenous people did not understand the logistics behind these goods, so they came to believe that the material wealth brought by the planes was a gift from spiritual beings. When the war ended, the islanders were left without the continuous supply of goods they had grown accustomed to. Some believed that the gods had stopped sending the cargo and that certain rituals or behaviors needed to be enacted to bring the goods back. Thus, the cargo cults were born. These cults were not just about getting material goods, they were about establishing a connection to a higher power, and often the followers believed that the arrival of the cargo was tied to their faith and specific rituals. Many of these cults centered around the worship of foreign figures, who were thought to have divine power over the goods they had brought. The most famous of these figures is John From, whose cult is still practiced today in Vanuatu. The John From movement is perhaps the best-known cargo cult in Vanuatu. The followers of this cult believe that an American named John From will return to bring riches and material wealth to the island. The followers also believe that John From will restore their ancestral ways, making them prosperous once again. On February 15th each year, John From's followers gather to celebrate his expected return. They march around the island with American flags, wear military-style uniforms, and chant his name. They firmly believe that by honoring him, the cargo will return. This bizarre and fascinating practice continues to this day. with some islanders still preparing for John Frum's return. However, Vanuatu is not the only place with cargo cults. While the John Frum cult is the most famous, there are other cargo cults in the region, each with its own unique beliefs and practices. One of these is the Prince Philip movement on the island of Tanna. The followers of this cult believe that Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, and the husband of Queen Elizabeth II, is a divine being. The followers believe that he is a god who will return to the island and bring prosperity. This belief stems from the visit of the Duke and Queen to Vanuatu in 1974. The islanders were so impressed by the visit that they began to worship Prince Philip as a god. Today, followers of the Prince Philip movement continue to honor him, believing that one day he will return and bring them the material wealth they desire. The persistence of cargo cults in Vanuatu is both puzzling and fascinating. Outsiders often view these cults as strange and outdated, but for the people who believe in them, they are a vital part of their identity. In some ways, the cargo cults represent the islanders' way of reconciling the introduction of foreign goods in Western culture with their traditional beliefs and ways of life. It is a way for them to make sense of the rapid changes brought about by colonialism, World War II, and modernity. Today, cargo cults are still practiced in certain parts of Vanuatu, though the beliefs have evolved. The younger generation may not fully embrace the rituals as their ancestors did, but they continue to celebrate the traditions in a more symbolic way. For example, some modern followers of the John Frum cult no longer believe in the literal return of John Frum, but they still celebrate the day as a way of honoring their heritage and connecting with their past. Cultural experts have long been fascinated by cargo cults, and many have offered explanations for why they continue to exist. Psychologists and anthropologists have suggested that cargo cults are a response to the trauma and confusion caused by colonialism and the introduction of foreign powers and goods for indigenous communities who had lived in isolation for centuries. The sudden arrival of outsiders and their technology was bewildering. The cargo cults can be seen as a way to cope with the sudden and overwhelming change in their way of life. The belief that goods come from a divine source gives the islanders a sense of control in an otherwise unpredictable world. According to anthropologist Dr. Tim Martin, who has studied the John Frum cult extensively, cargo cults are a form of cultural survival. He explains that the rituals and beliefs associated with cargo cults allow the people of Vanuatu to preserve their sense of identity in the face of westernization. For the people of Vanuatu, Dr. Martin notes, the cargo cults offer a way to retain their cultural heritage while simultaneously acknowledging the reality of the world they live in. It's an adaptation, not a regression. Despite the oddities of cargo cults, they reflect a deep connection between the people of Vanuatu and their land. For the islanders, these rituals represent a way of understanding and controlling the forces around them. The practice of honoring foreign figures, like John Frum or Prince Philip, is not about blind faith in outsiders, but about trying to find a sense of purpose and meaning in a rapidly changing world. In modern times, the cargo cults have become a part of Vanuatu's tourist culture. Visitors to the islands are often intrigued by the phenomenon, and many tourists come to witness the celebrations and learn about the history of the cults. While this can be seen as an exploitation of indigenous beliefs, it also helps to preserve the cult's significance in the country's cultural landscape. Local leaders, however, emphasize that these beliefs are sacred to the islanders and should be treated with respect. Cargo cults are a deeply rooted aspect of Vanuatu's culture, providing insight into the islanders' beliefs, their history, and their responses to external forces, from the John Frum cult to the Prince Philip movement. These beliefs have persisted for decades, evolving and adapting to changing times. They are not just relics of the past, but living practices that continue to shape the lives of the people of Vanuatu today. While outsiders may find these cults strange or puzzling, they are an essential part of understanding the complex relationship between the indigenous cultures of the Pacific and the modern world. The language and communication Vanuatu is one of the most linguistically diverse countries in the world. Despite being a small group of islands, it is home to over 100 languages, making it one of the most language-rich countries on Earth. The The development of so many languages in such a small area is the result of a combination of factors, including historical influences, migration, and the isolation of the islands. Each village or community in Vanuatu often has its own distinct language or dialect, which can make communication between different groups quite complex. The arrival of Europeans, beginning with the first European explorers in the 16th century, contributed to the spread of new languages. In particular, the British and French colonized parts of the islands and brought their own languages with them. However, rather than replacing the local languages, these foreign influences led to the creation of a hybrid form of communication. The best example of this is Bislama, a type of Pidgin English that developed in Vanuatu as a result of the interaction between the native languages and English. Bislama is now one of the official languages of Vanuatu, alongside English and French, and it plays an important role in unifying the country's diverse language groups. It is used in everyday life, especially when people from different linguistic backgrounds need to communicate. For example, if someone from the island of Tanna needs to speak to someone from the island of Malakula, they may use Bislama to bridge the gap between their native languages. Bislama is relatively simple, with English words mixed with local grammar and vocabulary, making it easier for many to learn and use. The spread of Bislama has made it a common language of trade and social interaction, especially in urban areas. However, it's important to note that while Bislama is widely used in public life, it's still considered a second language for many people. In the villages, people primarily speak their native languages, and Bislama is more of a tool for communication between groups who don't share a common mother tongue. In everyday life, Bislama is commonly spoken in markets, schools, and government settings. It's also used by the media and in popular culture, such as in radio broadcasts, TV shows, and even music. But Bislama is not the only language spoken in Vanuatu. Local languages remain incredibly important to the identity of the island's communities. There are around 100 distinct indigenous languages spoken throughout the country, and each language reflects the unique history and culture of the people who speak it. These languages are deeply tied to the land, the stories, and the traditions of the islands, and they are often used in cultural ceremonies and rituals. Despite the widespread use of Bislama, many of these traditional languages are endangered as younger generations become more connected to the global world through education and media. They are less likely to speak their native languages fluently. The older generation, however, continues to preserve these languages and pass them down through oral storytelling and teaching. There are efforts in Vanuatu to keep these languages alive by documenting them and encouraging their use in schools and community activities. Another fascinating aspect of communication in Vanuatu is the role of body language. While spoken language is important, gestures, facial expressions, and physical movements are just as significant in communication. In Vanuatu, body language is more than just a way to emphasize or clarify spoken words. It is a deep cultural practice that can convey meaning in ways words alone cannot. For example, in many Vanuatu communities, the way people position themselves during a conversation can indicate respect, authority, or intimacy. A simple gesture, like lowering your eyes when speaking to an elder, shows respect in Vanuatu culture. The use of hand gestures is also common and carries specific meanings. In some villages, it is customary to greet someone with a particular hand gesture, or even a certain posture that signifies friendship or goodwill. The connection between body language and spoken language is so important that in some communities, it is considered impolite or disrespectful to not use the proper gestures when communicating. In Vanuatu, communication goes beyond the words spoken. It is a physical and emotional exchange that involves a deeper understanding of cultural norms and expectations. For instance, during important ceremonies or festivals, people may communicate through dance and movement, using their bodies to express stories and emotions that words cannot fully capture. These dances and movements are symbolic, and their meaning is passed down through generations. Tourists visiting Vanuatu often find it fascinating to learn about how communication works in the villages. Many visitors come to the islands with a limited understanding of the local languages and rely on Bislama to communicate. However, they soon realize that understanding the body language and the social context is just as important as learning a few words of Bislama. Tourists often recount how they had to learn to read the physical cues of the people. They interacted with how a smile, a bow, or even a silence could hold more meaning than anything said aloud. One tourist, Sarah, who visited Vanuatu last year, shared her experience. At first, I struggled with the language barrier, but once I started observing how people communicate through gestures and expressions, I felt more connected. It was amazing to see how much you could understand without words. I learned that communication here is more than just speaking, it's about being present and paying attention to everything around you. Similarly, locals in Vanuatu also find it necessary to learn how to communicate with tourists. While many islanders speak Bislama, some may struggle with English or other foreign languages. Tourists often need to be patient and understanding, learning not just the words, but also the cultural context in which communication takes place. The locals, for their part, have adapted to the increasing number of visitors to their islands and have become skilled at bridging cultural and linguistic gaps. They understand that for many tourists, their time in Vanuatu is an opportunity to experience a completely different way of life, and they go out of their way to make visitors feel welcome. The unique linguistic landscape of Vanuatu serves as a reminder of the island's rich cultural heritage. With so many languages spoken on such a small set of islands, Vanuatu is a place where communication is more than just a means of exchanging information. It is a way of connecting with the land, with each other, and with a long history that is deeply intertwined with the island's people. The continued use of traditional languages alongside Bislama and the emphasis on body language highlights the complexity and depth of communication in this extraordinary country. Vanuatu's languages are an essential part of its cultural fabric. Bislama serves as a unifying language that bridges the gap between different communities, while traditional languages keep the islanders' heritage alive. Body language and physical gestures also play a significant role in how people communicate, adding another layer of meaning to every interaction. For those who take the time to understand the culture of Vanuatu, learning the language, both verbal and nonverbal, becomes a way of truly experiencing the islands and connecting with the people who call it home. The wild, untamed nature expanded to 1,000 words. Vanuatu is a true natural paradise, and its untamed beauty is a major draw for anyone who loves the outdoors. The islands are home to some of the world's most unique and pristine environments, ranging from lush rainforests to stunning beaches and crystal-clear lagoons. But what makes Vanuatu even more special is the diversity of plants and animals found here, many of which can't be found anywhere else in the world. The flora and fauna of Vanuatu are not only fascinating to study, but also crucial to the overall health of the ecosystem. The rainforests of Vanuatu are home to a wide range of plant species, some of which have medicinal properties that are used by the local people for healing. One of the most famous plants in Vanuatu is the kava plant, whose root is used to make a traditional drink that has relaxing and calming effects. This drink is a central part of many social and cultural ceremonies in Vanuatu. The rainforest also boasts a variety of trees, flowers, and shrubs, many of which are not found anywhere else in the world. For example, the Vanuatu rose is a rare flower that grows in the island's rainforests and adds to the incredible beauty of the area. The ecological importance of Vanuatu's plants extends beyond their beauty. The rainforests play a critical role in maintaining the health of the island's ecosystems. They help prevent soil erosion, regulate the climate, and provide shelter and food for many species of animals. Without these rainforests, the fragile balance of life on the islands would be in danger. Vanuatu's animal life is just as remarkable as its plant life. The islands are home to a variety of unique species, some of which are endangered or found nowhere else in the world. One of the most notable animals is the flying fox, a large bat species with a wingspan that can reach up to 1.5 meters. These bats play an important role in pollinating flowers and spreading seeds, helping to maintain the health of the rainforest. Vanuatu is also home to several species of birds that are found only on the islands, such as the Vanuatu megapode, a large, ground-dwelling bird that lays its eggs in the warmth of the volcanic soil. This bird is part of the island's complex and delicate ecosystem. The Pacific pigeon, which is also found in Vanuatu, is another example of the incredible wildlife here. These birds are not just beautiful to look at, they also play a key role in the forest ecosystem by dispersing seeds and helping the plants to grow. But it is not just the plants and animals that make Vanuatu as nature so special. It is the way people live in harmony with it. The islanders have a deep respect for their environment, and many of their cultural practices are closely tied to the land and its resources. For example, traditional farming methods in Vanuatu are designed to work with the land, not against it. Islanders use sustainable farming practices that help preserve the soil and the plants, ensuring that future generations will be able to benefit from the land's natural resources. This connection between the people of Vanuatu and the land goes beyond farming. It's a philosophy that permeates every aspect of life on the islands. Islanders understand that their well-being is directly linked to the health of the environment. This is why they take steps to protect their natural resources, ensuring that their culture and way of life will continue for generations to come. The concept of living in harmony with nature is central to Vanuatu's way of life. The islanders rely on the natural environment for everything from food and medicine to building materials and fuel. The resources of the land are shared among the community, and there is a strong focus on sustainability. The people of Vanuatu understand that nature provides for them, and they, in turn, must care for it. One of the most fascinating aspects of Vanuatu's natural environment is its untouched beaches. Unlike many popular tourist destinations, Vanuatu's beaches are still relatively undeveloped. The beaches are pristine, with soft white sand and clear blue water that stretches as far as the eye can see. These beaches are not only beautiful, but they are also incredibly important to the local ecosystems. Coral reefs surround many of the islands, providing shelter and food for marine life. These reefs are a vital part of the island's biodiversity and play a crucial role in maintaining the health of the surrounding marine environment. The biodiversity of Vanuatu's coral reefs is astonishing. The reefs are home to a wide variety of fish species, sea turtles, and even manta rays for divers. The waters around Vanuatu offer some of the best underwater experiences in the world. The reefs are in excellent condition and provide a habitat for many species that are increasingly threatened elsewhere in the world. But Vanuatu's reefs are not just a tourist attraction, they are an essential part of the island. As natural balance, the fish that live in these reefs provide food for the islanders, and the health of the reefs is closely linked to the health of the local communities. Many people in Vanuatu make their living through ecotourism, offering tours of the island's natural wonders and educating visitors about the importance of conservation. These ecotourism businesses are vital to the local economy and help raise awareness about the importance of preserving the island's ecosystems. Local guides take visitors on hikes through the Rainforests, where they can learn about the unique plants and animals that live there. They also offer snorkeling and diving trips to explore the stunning coral reefs that surround the islands. In recent years, there has been a growing movement to promote sustainable tourism in Vanuatu. The local government, along with various NGOs, is working to protect the environment while also encouraging economic growth. Sustainable tourism is seen as a way to provide income for local communities without damaging the land or the marine environment. Many of the islanders involved in ecotourism have a deep understanding of the natural world and are passionate about sharing their knowledge with others. They understand that preserving Vanuatu's unique natural beauty is not just important for the island's future, but also for the future of the planet. One example of this is the Tafia Ecotourism Project, which works with local communities to promote sustainable practices and create eco-friendly jobs. This initiative provides training and support to local guides and helps ensure that tourism is done in a way that benefits both the people and the environment. By focusing on ecotourism, the people of Vanuatu are able to share their beautiful islands with the world, while also protecting the environment that makes them so special. Vanuatu's wild, Untamed nature is a treasure that must be protected. From the vibrant rainforests and diverse wildlife to the pristine beaches and coral reefs, the natural beauty of the islands is a testament to the power of nature and the importance of living in harmony with it. The people of Vanuatu understand this better than anyone, and they continue to work hard to preserve the environment for future generations. In Vanuatu, nature is not just something to admire from a distance, it's a way of life. And for those who visit, it offers a chance to experience the incredible biodiversity and beauty of a place that has remained largely untouched by modern development. Vanuatu's role in modern society. Vanuatu, with its breathtaking landscapes and rich cultural heritage, is not just a place of natural beauty, it is also playing an important role in the modern world, especially when it comes to sustainability, as the world faces increasing challenges related to climate change, environmental degradation, and the preservation of biodiversity. Vanuatu has emerged as an example of how small island nations can lead the way in ecotourism, sustainability, and environmental stewardship. The island's commitment to these values is reshaping its economy and influencing global discussions about sustainable living. One of the most significant ways Vanuatu is contributing to modern society is through ecotourism. Ecotourism is a type of tourism that focuses on visiting natural areas in a way that conserves the environment, respects local cultures, and benefits the local community. Over the past few decades, Vanuatu has become a popular destination for ecotourism, and it is increasingly seen as a model for other countries looking to balance tourism with environmental preservation. With its pristine beaches, lush rainforests, and vibrant coral reefs, the country offers unique opportunities for visitors to connect with nature while minimizing their impact on the environment. Ecotourism has had a significant impact on Vanuatu's economy. By attracting visitors who are interested in sustainable travel, the country has been able to create jobs and promote local businesses, all while preserving its natural heritage. Many locals now make a living by guiding tourists on eco-friendly excursions, such as hiking through the rainforests, snorkeling in the coral reefs, or participating in community-based cultural tours. These activities not only provide income for families, but also promote an understanding of the importance of environmental conservation. The growth of ecotourism in Vanuatu has helped shift the economy away from industries that might harm the environment, such as large-scale agriculture and mining. By focusing on tourism that respects nature, Vanuatu has been able to develop a sustainable source of income that doesn't threaten its natural resources. This approach has proven to be a win-win for the island nation. It boosts the economy while helping protect the environment. In addition to ecotourism, Vanuatu plays a growing role in global discussions about sustainability. As a small island nation, Vanuatu is particularly vulnerable to the impacts of climate change, such as rising sea levels and extreme weather events. These threats have made Vanuatu a passionate advocate for environmental protection. On the international stage, the country has been vocal in global forums, such as the United Nations, about the urgent need to address climate change and protect the world's ecosystems. In fact, Vanuatu has often called for stronger international commitments to combat climate change, arguing that small island nations like theirs are among the most affected by environmental disasters. Even though they contribute the least to global carbon emissions, Vanuatu's advocacy for sustainability has made it an important voice in the global conversation on environmental issues. The country has worked to build relationships with other island nations and environmental organizations, pushing for policies that support climate adaptation, renewable energy, and the protection of biodiversity. Vanuatu's leadership in these areas has helped raise awareness about the unique challenges faced by small island nations and has inspired other countries to take action in their own efforts to combat climate change. When comparing Vanuatu to other island nations, its commitment to sustainability stands out. While many island nations face similar challenges, such as rising sea levels and the impact of climate change on agriculture and tourism, Vanuatu has been proactive in finding solutions that are both practical and innovative. For example, Vanuatu has invested in renewable energy sources, such as solar power, to reduce its dependence on fossil fuels and cut greenhouse gas emissions. Several communities in Vanuatu now rely on solar energy to power homes, schools, and businesses, making the islands a leader in the transition to clean energy in the Pacific region. Vanuatu has also made significant strides in protecting its natural resources. One of the most important initiatives has been the creation of protected marine areas, where fishing and other destructive activities are restricted to preserve the coral reefs and marine life. These protected areas help maintain biodiversity and ensure that future generations will be able to enjoy the same natural beauty that makes Vanuatu so unique. The government, along with local communities, has worked to implement policies that protect forests, wildlife, and the environment from overexploitation. One of the key reasons Vanuatu stands out in terms of sustainability is the strong sense of community and respect for nature that is woven into the fabric of everyday life. Locals have always understood the importance of living in harmony with their environment. Many traditional practices, such as sustainable farming methods and the use of medicinal plants, are rooted in this understanding. For example, farmers in Vanuatu often use traditional methods to grow crops, relying on organic fertilizers and crop rotation to maintain soil health. This respect for nature is not only part of their culture, but also a crucial element of the country's broader sustainability efforts. Locals, such as those involved in ecotourism and conservation, are passionate about preserving their island home. Take, for instance, Joan, a local guide in the capital city of Port Vila, who runs a tour company focused on promoting sustainable tourism. It's important for us to share our culture and natural beauty with visitors, she says. But it is equally important to ensure that we are not harming the environment in the process. We teach tourists about the ecosystems we rely on and show them how they can contribute to protecting it. Similarly, David, an environmental activist in Vanuatu, has worked with the government to implement renewable energy projects in rural areas. We are so vulnerable to the effects of climate change, he explains, but we also have a chance to be part of the solution. By embracing renewable energy and sustainable practices, we are not only protecting our future, but also setting an example for others to follow. Vanuatu's role in modern society is an inspiring example of how a small island nation can lead the way in sustainability. The country's ecotourism industry, its advocacy for climate change action, and its focus on protecting natural resources have made it a beacon of hope. In the global fight against environmental degradation, Vanuatu has proven that it's possible to balance economic growth with environmental protection, and its efforts are a model for other countries to follow. As Vanuatu continues to advocate for the protection of the planet and works to preserve its unique environment, it remains an important player in the global conversation on sustainability. The people of Vanuatu understand the delicate balance between development and conservation, and they continue to work toward a future where both can thrive. Through their efforts, they are not just saving their own islands, they are contributing to the well-being of the entire planet. The no-tax system. Vanuatu's tax system is one of the most attractive features of the island nation, especially for expatriates, retirees, and business owners. Unlike most countries, Vanuatu does not have an income tax, corporate tax, or capital gains tax. This tax-free environment offers significant benefits for people looking to live or work in a place where their earnings are not heavily taxed. For many people, this is one of the main reasons they decide to move to Vanuatu. The absence of an income tax is a major selling point for expatriates and retirees. In many countries, the tax burden can eat away at a substantial portion of one's earnings or retirement savings. For instance, in countries like the United States, the United Kingdom, and Australia, income taxes can range anywhere from 20% to 45% of one's earnings, depending on the country and tax bracket. This often forces individuals to work harder and longer to maintain their standard of living. However, in Vanuatu, residents are not required to pay any income tax, which means that individuals can keep a much larger portion of their earnings. For retirees, Vanuatu's tax-free system is especially appealing. Many retirees from high-tax countries choose to relocate to Vanuatu, as it allows them to stretch their retirement savings further. Without the worry of taxes, retirees can live a comfortable life on the island, enjoying affordable housing, low living costs, and beautiful surroundings. For example, a retired couple could find a nice home in Vanuatu for a fraction of what they would pay in other countries, and they would not have to pay taxes on their pension income. This makes Vanuatu a very attractive option for those looking for a peaceful and affordable place to enjoy their later years. The lack of a tax on personal income and wealth also makes Vanuatu an appealing place for foreign investors and business owners. Many entrepreneurs from around the world set up businesses in Vanuatu to take advantage of the tax-free environment in other countries. Businesses are burdened with taxes that reduce their profitability. For example, in countries like the United States, businesses must pay corporate income taxes, sales taxes, and other types of business taxes, which can add up to a significant amount. This can sometimes make it difficult for small businesses to thrive, as they have to set aside a large percentage of their earnings to pay these taxes. In Vanuatu, however, businesses are not subject to corporate taxes, which allows them to keep more of their profits. This creates a more favorable environment for business growth and encourages foreign investment. The no-tax system in Vanuatu is also beneficial for local businesses. With no taxes to pay, businesses have the freedom to reinvest their profits into growing their companies, hiring more staff, and expanding their operations. This not only benefits the business owners, but also helps create jobs for the local population, stimulating the country's economy. Small businesses in Vanuatu, such as cafes, shops, and tourism-related services, thrive in this low-tax environment. Since many of these businesses depend on tourism, which is one of the country's main industries, the tax-free system makes it easier for them to stay competitive and profitable. In addition to personal income taxes, Vanuatu also does not have capital gains tax, which can be particularly beneficial for investors. In countries with capital gains taxes, individuals who sell assets, such as stocks, real estate, or businesses, are required to pay a tax on the profit they make. This can discourage investment, as the tax reduces the return on investment. In Vanuatu, there is no such tax, which makes it an attractive place for people looking to invest in real estate or businesses. This has led to a growing number of people investing in Vanuatu's property market, helping to stimulate the economy further. Vanuatu's tax system also offers benefits to businesses and individuals involved in international trade. For companies that engage in cross-border transactions, Vanuatu's lack of taxes makes it an appealing hub for international commerce. The country has set up a system that makes it easy for international businesses to operate and make deals without the added burden of high taxes. This is one reason why many foreign businesses choose to set up offshore companies in Vanuatu, as it allows them to conduct business more efficiently and profitably. Of course, it's important to note that while Vanuatu's tax system is extremely attractive, it doesn't mean that the government has no sources of revenue. Instead of relying on income taxes, the country generates revenue through a value-added tax VAT, which is applied to goods and services. The VAT is relatively low compared to other countries, which keeps prices affordable for consumers. Additionally, the government collects revenue through other means, such as import duties and fees for certain services. This system allows Vanuatu to maintain a stable economy without the heavy reliance on income taxes that many other countries face. Many expatriates and retirees who have moved to Vanuatu praise the country's tax system for allowing them to enjoy a higher quality of life. When I moved to Vanuatu, I was able to retire much earlier than I ever thought possible, says Paul, a retired businessman from the United Kingdom. Not having to pay income tax on my pension was a game changer. I can live comfortably and focus on enjoying my life here without the stress of high taxes back home. Another expat, Marie, who owns a small ecotourism business in Port Vila, shares her experience. The tax-free environment has been amazing for my business. Without corporate taxes, I'm able to reinvest in my business, hire more staff, and provide a better experience for my customers. Vanuatu has really allowed me to grow my business in ways that would have been impossible in my home country. While Vanuatu's tax policies are incredibly attractive, it's important to acknowledge that the country's tax-free system does come with its challenges. Some critics argue that the lack of income tax means that the government has to rely on other forms of revenue, such as VAT and import duties, which can place a higher burden on consumers. Additionally, Vanuatu has to ensure that it can maintain essential services, such as healthcare and education, without relying on income tax revenue. Despite these challenges, the no-tax system in Vanuatu has proven to be a key factor in the country's growing popularity among expatriates, retirees, and international businesses. It has contributed to the country's reputation as a tax haven and has made it a role model for other nations looking to foster economic growth without placing a heavy tax burden on their citizens. For many, the tax-free system is one of the main reasons they choose to settle in Vanuatu, as it allows them to live more comfortably and make the most of their earnings. Vanuatu's no-tax system offers significant benefits for individuals, businesses, and the overall economy by eliminating income tax and corporate tax. Vanuatu has created an environment where people can enjoy a higher quality of life and businesses can thrive. While the system is not without its challenges, it has proven to be an effective way for the country to attract expatriates, retirees, and foreign investors. With its low tax burden and focus on sustainable growth, Vanuatu's tax policies are helping to shape a prosperous future for its people. Natural disasters. Living in Vanuatu is like living in a paradise where nature is both beautiful and unpredictable. While the islands offer stunning beaches, lush rainforests, and vibrant wildlife, they are also located in the Pacific Ring of Fire, which means they are prone to natural disasters like cyclones, volcanic eruptions, and earthquakes. The people of Vanuatu have learned to live with the reality of these disasters, and over time, they have developed strong resilience and preparedness strategies. Despite the risks, Vanuatu's people continue to thrive and live in harmony with their environment, even as they face these threats. Cyclones are one of the most frequent natural disasters that affect Vanuatu. These massive storms bring strong winds, heavy rains, and the risk of flooding, which can be devastating for the islanders. Cyclone season usually runs from November to April, and during this time, residents are always on alert, ready to take precautions to protect their homes and loved ones. While many of the island's buildings are not designed to withstand the full force of a cyclone, the government and local communities have worked together to improve the country's preparedness over the years. In fact, Vanuatu is one of the countries most prepared for cyclones in the Pacific, thanks to an effective early warning system and well-organized evacuation plans. One local, Talia, shared her experience of surviving a cyclone that struck Vanuatu a few years ago. It was terrifying, she recalled. The winds were so strong, and the rain came pouring down for hours. I remember holding my children close, praying that our house would stay intact. We had a plan, though, and we knew exactly what to do when the storm hit. We took shelter in a strong, reinforced building nearby, and we just waited it out. For Talia and her family, the preparation they had done before the cyclone hit made all the difference. They knew how to stay safe, where to go, and what supplies to bring. As devastating as the storm was, Vanuatu's community-based preparedness meant that many people were able to get through the cyclone safely. Cyclones are not the only natural disaster that threatens Vanuatu. The islands are also home to several active volcanoes, and volcanic eruptions are a constant risk. Mount Yasur on Tanna Island, one of the most active volcanoes in the world, frequently erupts, sending plumes of ash and smoke into the sky, while tourists flock to the volcano to witness the spectacular eruptions. The local people live in constant awareness of the potential danger. The people of Tanna have learned to coexist with Mount Yasur, viewing the volcano as both a powerful and spiritual force. However, eruptions can sometimes cause damage to crops, homes, and roads, and volcanic ash can affect air travel and water supplies. In 2017, a major eruption from Mount Yasur caused the local community to take precautionary measures. Many people were evacuated from areas close to the volcano, and emergency response teams worked quickly to ensure that the community had access to necessary supplies. The islanders' connection to the land, their respect for the volcano, and their preparedness for such events are what allowed them to live with the constant threat of eruption. Even though the risk is always present, the people of Tanna have deep spiritual ties to Mount Yasur, seeing it as a living entity that they respect and honor, rather than something to fear. Earthquakes also pose a risk to Vanuatu, as the country sits on the Pacific tectonic plate, which is prone to seismic activity. In 2002, a strong earthquake hit the islands, causing significant damage in some areas and affecting buildings, roads, and infrastructure. Fortunately, Vanuatu's building codes are designed to help mitigate the effects of earthquakes. Newer buildings in the country are constructed with reinforced materials and techniques that make them more resistant to seismic activity in areas where buildings are older or less sturdy. The government and local authorities work to educate communities about the importance of earthquake preparedness and safety. Vanuatu's response to natural disasters is built on a combination of government planning, community awareness, and local knowledge. The government has established strong disaster response systems, including early warning systems for cyclones, communication networks to alert communities of impending threats, and evacuation plans for high-risk areas. Additionally, the government collaborates with international aid organizations to provide emergency relief when disasters occur, ensuring that affected areas receive the help they need to recover. In addition to government efforts, local communities play an essential role in disaster preparedness. Villagers are often the first to respond when a disaster strikes, and they are highly skilled in using local resources to help themselves and their neighbors. Many communities have their own disaster response teams trained to provide first aid, clear debris, and help with evacuations. In some areas, locals have even developed traditional methods of protecting their homes and crops from natural disasters, such as building windbreaks to shield their properties from strong winds during a cyclone, or creating water drainage systems to prevent flooding. The resilience of the people of Vanuatu is truly inspiring. Despite the constant threat of natural disasters, they continue to live in close connection with their environment. They understand the risks that come with living on an island in the Pacific Ring of Fire, but they also know that these natural forces are part of what makes Vanuatu unique. The emotional connection the islanders have with their land and their history is what drives their determination to keep going, even in the face of disaster. One local, Mako, who has lived in Vanuatu his entire life, expressed his deep connection to the land. The earth here is strong, and we are strong with it. We know the risks, but we also know how to live with them. It's part of who we are. We respect the land, the volcanoes, the ocean, and the sky. They provide for us, and we do our best to take care of them in return. Mako's words reflect the mindset of many people in Vanuatu. Even with the threat of natural disasters, they continue to live with a sense of peace and harmony with their surroundings. The challenges posed by cyclones, volcanic eruptions, and earthquakes are met with strength, preparedness, and a deep respect for the land. Through community cooperation and respect for nature, the people of Vanuatu demonstrate how to live resiliently in the face of adversity. Their ability to thrive in a place where natural disasters are part of everyday life is a testament to the power of connection to the land, to each other, and to their cultural heritage. Food and drink expanded to 600 to 800 words. Food in Vanuatu is much more than just sustenance. It is a vital part of the culture, traditions, and daily life. The islanders have a deep connection to the land, and this is reflected in the way they grow, prepare, and share food. In Vanuatu, meals are not just about eating, they are a way to bring people together, celebrate, and honor the land that provides for them. The food culture is closely tied to the environment, and sustainability plays a key role in how food is grown and consumed. One of the most important staple foods in Vanuatu is taro, a root vegetable that is grown throughout the islands. Taro is a versatile food that can be boiled, roasted, or mashed, and it is often served with fish or other local vegetables. Taro has been cultivated in Vanuatu for centuries, and is considered an essential part of the islanders' diet. The process of growing taro is deeply connected to the land, with traditional farming methods passed down through generations. Farmers plant taro in the fertile volcanic soil, which provides the right conditions for the crop to thrive. Taro is not only nutritious, but also has cultural significance. It is often used in special ceremonies and feasts, symbolizing abundance and connection to the land. Another popular food in Vanuatu is yams, which are similar to sweet potatoes. Yams are often roasted or boiled and served as a side dish to accompany fish, meat, or vegetables. Like taro, yams are grown using traditional farming methods, with farmers working to maintain the balance of the land while ensuring the crops are plentiful. The islanders' connection to yams goes beyond their role as food. They are a symbol of community. During harvest time, families and neighbors come together to collect the yams, sharing in the labor and the rewards. This sense of community and cooperation is at the heart of Vanuatu's food culture. Fish is another important part of the Vanuatu diet. The island's surrounding waters are rich with marine life, and fishing is a traditional practice that has sustained the islanders for generations. Locals catch fish using hand nets, spears, or traps, and the catch is often shared among the community. Fish is typically grilled, boiled, or steamed, and it is commonly served with vegetables or starches like taro or yam. Fish plays a significant role in Vanuatu's food culture, not only because it provides a healthy source of protein, but also because it symbolizes the connection between the people and the ocean. One of the most unique dishes in Vanuatu is lap lap, a traditional food made from grated vegetables, coconut milk, and sometimes meat. Wrapped in banana leaves and cooked in an earth oven, the dish is a staple at many family gatherings, festivals, and special events. The preparation of lap lap is a communal activity, with family members or neighbors working together to prepare and cook the food. It is cooked in a traditional earth oven, which involves digging a pit, heating stones, and placing the wrapped food inside to cook slowly. The result is a fragrant, flavorful dish that is deeply tied to the island's culture and traditions. For many islanders, lap lap is more than just food. It is a symbol of hospitality and togetherness. The way food is grown and harvested in Vanuatu is also tied to the islanders' commitment to sustainable farming. In many areas, traditional farming methods are still used, and these practices are designed to work in harmony with the environment. For example, farmers use crop rotation and organic fertilizers to maintain soil health, ensuring that the land remains fertile for future generations. This sustainable approach to farming helps preserve the island's natural resources and protects the environment. In addition, many islanders practice subsistence farming, growing food primarily for their own consumption and sharing surplus with neighbors. This practice fosters a sense of community and ensures that the food grown on the islands is used responsibly. Food in Vanuatu also has a direct impact on the local economy. Agriculture, fishing, and food-related businesses are vital to the country's economy, and many local businesses rely on food production and sales to support their livelihoods. Small food vendors, local markets, and restaurants all play a crucial role in the economy by providing fresh, local food to both residents and tourists. The growing interest in ecotourism has also helped boost the food economy, as visitors come to Vanuatu not only to experience its natural beauty, but also to taste its fresh, local cuisine. Ecotourism offers a platform for islanders to share their food culture with the world, creating a sustainable way to generate income while preserving traditional practices. The impact of food culture on health and happiness in Vanuatu is also significant. The diet of the islanders is largely plant-based, with a focus on root vegetables, fruits, fish, and coconut products. This natural, whole food diet is rich in nutrients and supports a healthy lifestyle. Unlike many Western diets that rely heavily on processed foods, the Vanuatu diet is fresh, organic, and packed with the vitamins and minerals necessary for maintaining good health. The islanders' active lifestyle, which includes fishing, farming, and walking, also contributes to their overall well-being. Many locals in Vanuatu also talk about the connection between food and happiness. Food is a way of showing love, says Nair, a local chef and food enthusiast. When we cook, we're not just making a meal, we're sharing a piece of our culture, a piece of our story. Nair runs a small restaurant in Port Vila, where she serves traditional dishes like lap, grilled fish, and taro. People come here for the food, but they also come for the experience. She explains, food in Vanuatu is about family, community, and tradition. It's about connecting with each other and with the land. Her words reflect the sentiment of many islanders who view food as an expression of gratitude, culture, and identity. The islanders' diet is not just about eating to survive, it's about celebrating life and nurturing their bodies, minds, and relationships. Food plays a central role in creating happiness and a sense of belonging in the Vanuatu community. Food in Vanuatu is far more than just a way to satisfy hunger. It is an essential part of the islanders' culture, economy, and way of life. From the traditional dishes like lap to the sustainable farming practices that protect the land, food in Vanuatu reflects the deep connection between the people and the environment. It is a reminder of the importance of community, sustainability, and respect for nature. The food culture of Vanuatu is something to be cherished, and for anyone visiting the islands, it is an experience that offers a taste of the rich traditions and values that make this country so special. Throughout this documentary, we've taken a deep dive into what makes Vanuatu such a unique and remarkable place. From its stunning landscapes and rich cultural heritage, to its thriving ecotourism industry and remarkable connection to nature, Vanuatu stands out in a world that often values speed, progress, and urbanization over simplicity and sustainability. The people of Vanuatu have managed to maintain a lifestyle that balances the modern world with deep-rooted traditions, all while living in harmony with the land and environment around them. Their ability to live in such close connection with nature despite the threats posed by natural disasters shows an incredible strength and resilience. The cultural practices that define Vanuatu's way of life, from land diving to the vibrant spiritual ceremonies, are not just traditions, they are lifelines to the past, essential to the identity of the people. These customs have been passed down through generations, preserving not only their history, but their deep understanding of the environment. By respecting the land and its resources, the people of Vanuatu maintain a sustainable lifestyle that others in the world can learn from. The island's commitment to preserving its culture while embracing ecotourism, sustainable farming, and renewable energy is a model for other nations looking to balance growth with environmental responsibility. Vanuatu's no-tax system, its dedication to sustainable agriculture, and its community-driven approach to life have created a country that's not just surviving, but thriving. The land, the food, and the deep respect for the environment all work together to shape a culture that values connection, respect, and sustainability. In a world where many countries are grappling with the effects of climate change and environmental degradation, Vanuatu offers hope that it is possible to live in a way that honors both nature and culture. But as we've seen, this lifestyle comes with its own set of challenges. The constant threat of cyclones, earthquakes, and volcanic eruptions is a reminder of the fragile nature of life on the islands. Yet, the resilience of the Vanuatu people, their preparedness, adaptability, and unwavering respect for the land is what makes this place truly remarkable. The people of Vanuatu have learned to coexist with these natural forces, finding balance and strength in the face of uncertainty. As we wrap up this journey through Vanuatu, it's worth asking ourselves, could we live like this? Could we embrace a slower, more intentional life, one that values sustainability, community, and harmony with nature? The people of Vanuatu show us that it is possible to live in a way that is deeply connected to the land, rooted in tradition, and forward-thinking in terms of sustainability. We'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think about Vanuatu's way of life? Could you see yourself living in a place like this, where nature and culture come together in such a powerful way? Share your opinions in the comments below, and let us continue the conversation about how we can all live more sustainably and in harmony with the world around us.